Well, we kick off the show in Osun State, southwest of Nigeria, where despite the advice by the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Lateef Fagbemi, and the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, the Osun State Independent Electoral Commission went ahead with the conduct of local council elections across the 30 local government areas and one area office in the state on Saturday. Although there was apprehension earlier in the day, the elections held as scheduled, with staff of the state's Independent Electoral Commission making a generally punctual arrival at polling centers. Arise News' Olushola Omilana filed in this report.
The atmosphere in most of the polling units visited was calm. Security operatives were seen at different strategic places, controlling human and vehicular movements to prevent any breakdown of law and order. The state governor, Ademola Adeleke, cast his vote before 8 a.m. in his hometown at Unit 9, Ward 2, Sagba Abogunde, Ede North Local Government. After casting his vote, the governor admonished residents of the state to be peaceful during the election.
The process has been very peaceful. I made a broadcast to my good people of Osun State that this election should be peaceful, there should be no violence, because Osun State is a very peaceful, state. They should come out peacefully and vote and go back peacefully too. There should be no problem. We should not give them or any chance to say that there's violence here, there's violence. I don't want that, because we are a peaceful people, in Osun State.
Impressive turnout of voters were seen in some polling units, while some others were characterized by low turnout. Some of the voters attributed the low turnout to fear of possible outbreak of violence and absence of security officials at some polling units.
The turnout, just because people are fearing that they are fearing the people, that the thugs, that they may come. That is why the turnout is very low.
They are non-present here at each of our polling units. They were still, you can still see them mounting roadblocks here and there. So to some reasonable extent, so they are protecting life and properties, but not to the extent of coming to the polling unit here. So to protect the life of the electorate here.
It has been very fine and peaceful. We are holding our local government chairmanship election. This is Unit 8, Alajue 1. At the South Local.
In Ishokon, Irewole, Ayedade, and Borikwe local government areas of the state, voter apathy was pervasive. Staff of the Osun State Electoral Commission were seen with necessary materials attending to voters at designated polling units. Despite pleas by the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice Lateef Fagbemi and Inspector General of Police Kayode Egbetokun to the state government to call off the elections, Governor Adeleke had insisted on going ahead with the elections in compliance with the order by the Osun State High Court sitting in Ilesha, which ordered the State's Electoral Commission to proceed with the elections. The court also mandated all security agencies to provide security for the conduct of the elections.
All right. Peaceful elections. Governor Adeleke has commended President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, saying that, he's a true Democrat for allowing the elections go ahead in Osun State. I mean, we are seeing the whole, I don't know what to call it, rancor right before the elections. I mean, there was the press conference Adeleke granted saying that, Wega Oyetola was about to, cause mayhem in the state because obviously he's able to, because he's the cousin of the president. But we saw the elections took place, and we are seeing and we are hearing that the APC is saying, no election took place. So on the cover of this day today, APC, I believe APM as well, saying that no election took place. But we also heard that, Lateef Fagbemi had appealed to Adeleke to, halt the electoral process, saying that he should reinstate the sacked chairpersons. I believe that was last week, right, Steve, if you recall? That was last, saying that, since the Supreme or the Court of Appeal had dismissed that judgment, that, he should just not go ahead with the election. I don't know what your thoughts are, but I mean, the election, as we saw, took place. Cameramen were there. They covered it, right?
Well, I mean, the election did hold, as Governor Adeleke had wanted. I do not know about thanking the president for allowing the election to proceed. I mean, I don't think that it was up to the president if a local government election should hold or not. But of course, we also know that it wasn't just the Attorney General of the Federation, Lateef Fagbemi, who had asked that the election should be altered. Even the Inspector General of Police, Egbetokun also, give an advice based on the likelihood of violence and threats of violence that he didn't think that it should proceed. But of course, the position of the Attorney General was different, citing the Court of Appeal judgment that basically reinstated the sacked local government chairmen and councillors whom Adeleke had removed in 2020 via another court order when he became governor. But you know that when it comes to local government elections, it's all about consolidating on your domain, and more so that there is a governorship election coming up next year in Osun State. We do not know yet who will be the main candidate that will face Adeleke from APC. A lot of people are saying that because Oyetola lost out, his second term, lost to Adeleke, that there's the likelihood that he might return next year, which probably explains to run. You're shocked? To run.
I'm not shocked.
Yeah, I mean, he's a minister, and he's still entitled to run for another term. And we know that one of the key people who might also be interested in the ticket in APC says, if Oyetola is running, I'm not running. Yeah. So that's basically the reason for the interest and intensity that characterized yesterday's election in Osun State. APC, of course, pulled out, boycotted it, as you will expect, but I think about 18 parties in total, participated, according to Osun State Electoral, Commission. Of course, PDP cleared all the 30 chairmanship seats, and I believe 332 councillorship seats. Of course, that won't stop there, as we've witnessed in many of our states. Yes. It will go to the court. Court will have to interpret, the legality on which that election stood, because APC will challenge it in court. But of course, we'll see how that goes. It's all about the 2026 election.
Of course, and I'm going to just pick it off from where you left it, talking about it all still ends in court, because really at the contention of these two judgments, the Osun State High Court in Ilesha saying that, okay, go ahead, Osun State Independent Electoral Commission, go ahead and do these elections. And then, Lateef Fagbemi, of course, now citing the court's judgment from the Supreme Court, which validated and entrenched the non-violent transition of the
Supreme Court of Appeal.
The Court of Appeal, excuse me, that actually said that that those ones have the right to actually run their tenure till the end of October 2025. So it's really about who can prove their case best in court. He definitely had the legal backing to be able to go out and do the election, even though it was reported that there was a lower voter turnout. Of course, we're not seeing a lot of people boycotted it because of the violence that ensued on Monday. About 6 people reported dead from the clash that happened earlier this week because of the brouhaha leading up to this election. Yeah. So yes, when you don't have any competition, when you don't have anybody going against you in an election, of course it's expected that you're going to clear.
Anybody going against you? There were 18 parties.
No, I'm talking. Main opposition party going against you. It was expected that they were going to clear, the local government elections. But to just buttress that same point, it's still going to end up in court. Thankfully, there was no violence, because that was also a fear of, of even Lateef Fagbemi, of Kayode Egbetokun, and even the governor himself, Ademola Adeleke. And he said it in that report right there, that I've told my Osun people, this is not about violence. Come out, cast your vote, and make sure you get back into your homes. And that's what we saw yesterday. Low voter turnout, but still they swept the polls.
Has Davido said anything, by the way?
I think last
I
week
see- I see
was
that it's
tweeting
very
a lot
much
last week. He
invested
was very
in-
active
Yeah,
last week.
yeah.
I mean, he was one of the major campaigners of, Governor Adeleke.
I don't know, is he
And
even
I-
in the
and I-
country?
and I
It's
think-
easy to be outside the country and,
Well, I think
tweet.
I think he has apologized to the Osun State Commissioner of Police
Yes.
because
I
he said
think
very
I saw that.
unkind, needless words against the person of the Commissioner of Police, which
Yeah.
was really not necessary.
It wasn't necessary.
You know.
Yeah.
Musician, politician, Davido. Davido Adeleke.
The governor is his uncle, isn't he?
Absolutely. But, the elections went ahead in Osun State, and we'll, as always, follow up on the story.